Yeah, man, sup with purples? The eSPi has been out for a few days now, and I've been getting a lot of requests on how to set up the MIDI, which of course stands for Masterful Intricate Device Integration. Promise I'd do a video on setting it up, and now for you machine heads out there, there is a template available on my website for each and every version of Machine as well, on top of that as a bonus. So we're gonna take a look at how to open that and use it. Let us go. Alright y'all, it's a pretty straightforward deal, if I may say so myself. There's a couple of steps that you're gonna need to do. If you're on any MIDI device, the first thing you need to do is click MIDI here. First we wanna set our inputs. So we press 1, select input on the numpad. Here we go. Mine's set to the Machine Mark III virtual input right now because I have the MIDI template set up. But you can skip left and right and see what MIDI inputs you have. So set the MIDI device that you want to use. Then you can click MIDI again to get out of that menu. Now, where the magic happens is at MIDI function 3, assign buttons. Let us press 3. Now here we proceed to select which of all these buttons we want to assign. So just click one of them. You probably start off with pad number 1. And then you just hit the pad or the button or the fishing rod or whatever that you want to be controlling this button. That should be about it. Something I noticed though when I was programming these machine templates was that most of these buttons were sending MIDI CC, control change messages, and the eSPi wouldn't pick up on them. So I had to go into the controller editor and change each and every one of these buttons to send note information, MIDI note information, and not control change, because only the sliders will pick up the control change information. Now knowing that, you should be able to do that with mostly any MIDI compatible device that you have. But I'm going to show you how to load up this beautiful, magnificent machine template that is available for you right now on the website, blessedbeats.com. Let us go, let us get it. Once you downloaded the file and unzipped it, you're gonna notice that there's a few files in here. One of these, the one that says load this in eSPi, that's the one that you're gonna wanna load up in the eSPi. Surprise, surprise. How we do this is we press MIDI and 6 for load mapping. There we go, confirm, yes. Proceed to select the model of machine that you have. They all vary a little bit because they have different button layouts on them. And unfortunately, I only have the Mark III to demonstrate it here. So here, double click this, load this in eSPi file. And you're almost good to go. We need to do one more thing. We need to open up the controller editor that you should have installed by default after installing the machine software. Your machine should automatically pop up here in this window if it's connected. Otherwise, you can select your specific version here. Now what we need to do is click edit here, click open, and you'll see only one of these files is going to be selectable for your specific model because they all have their own file format. So double click that, open it, see if it works. I don't have it plugged in, I don't have the audio lined out right now, but it's working fine and dandy. I can move all the sliders, it's perfect. Now let's take a look at what these controls do. So open it big and beautiful full screen right there. First off, the pads. The pads control the pads 1 through 8. And up here you'll have a duplicate of it. So same, 1 through 8, 1 through 8. Advantage of this is you can do like, second you got the sliders. In order to utilize these, we're gonna go into tune, and we do that by pressing this button here. The pitch button on the machine toggles through the performance modes on the SP1200. So let's try changing the pitch. You can probably barely hear that because I don't have the sound lined out right now, but it works perfect. This is the button that you're going to use if you want to switch banks. You can notice on the machine you might expect there to be 4 banks as there are 4 banks on the SP1200, but no. This is the button we use to toggle through the banks. And this is going to vary a little bit depending on what machine you have. You're going to have to try out the buttons for yourself because I don't have every single version of the machine. Just try pressing the buttons and see what's happening on the screen, and you'll get the hang of it pretty quick. These naturally control the transport control, so you can play, stop, record. And this is the tap tempo button, which at the moment is not integrated. This here is the programming strip. So if you took this and flipped it sideways, you'll get what you see here. This toggles between the programming modes, between song and sequence. And if you're in sequence, this would be metronome, swing, copy, time signature, segment length, erase, autocorrect, and step edit. The eSPi is still in a beta stage, so there are still a lot of functions that are not functioning yet. Having a look-see at these four here, buttons, you'll see that they correspond to tempo, arrow left, arrow right, and enter, which gives it a very intuitive feel. So you can switch between the sequences here, for instance. Use this as your enter button, and if you want to change the tempo, you can just press there. Go up and down in the rhythms. This section here is the top part, the setup, disk, and sample functions. We cannot assign the MIDI button to receive the MIDI, because why? Because. And this entire top row is dedicated for the numpad, including no and yes. So if we wanted to go into the filtering menu, we can do this easily from the controller by pressing settings, which triggers setup, 1, 4 for filtering. Then we'll get that menu. We can toggle through the different filters. On our merry way we go. Important thing to note here is that there is a known bug at the moment, which means 7 and 8, which also trigger no and yes, don't function at the moment. But as soon as that bug is sorted out, the MIDI mappings should work. Little workaround though, pressing 6 and 8 will also double trigger no and yes. So if you're in a menu and you want to make a decision, you can still do it from the controller. So let's go in here. Say we wanted to truncate a sample. We'll use the sliders, change the start and end points, press enter, and now it asks you, do you want to make this truncation permanent? Pressing yes, nothing happens. But since 8 and 6 double trigger the next option here, we can press 8 and we will make a decision to yes, make the truncation permanent. Boom! Simple as that. If you're right there, then and there in the action, I also included a color map that it quickly explains the layout of the button assignment for the Mark III. Unfortunately, only for the Mark III. It shouldn't be too hard to figure out which buttons I assigned to the other controllers. Just try it out and see how it reacts on the screen, and you will get the idea of it pretty damn quick, I'd say. Just want to say also I'm very impressed with all the support that Lohis has gotten for this project. So everybody who's supporting it, if you didn't get it yet, go in there. It's worth the money for this one-man passion project. Give the man, show some love and support, you know what I'm saying? I love this world that we're living in today, where we can support individual creators that do work that we really appreciate. Next time we're going to make a beat from scratch on the SP1200. I'll explain the ins and outs of it and how a beat making workflow process typically works on the SP1200 and naturally on the ESP. I'm sorry everybody, the eSPi name is still stuck in my head. I keep saying that. I know it's called the eSPi. The French pronunciation of eSPi in a word. Also in Swedish, it's the same thing, you know what I'm saying? Europe! Big up to France, Croatia, the Czech Republic, Belgium, Germany, everybody, the Americas, Chicago, Los Angeles, Connecticut, Minnesota, yeah, whatever. If you make beats, you should join the weekly beat challenge that we have on the Discord. The Black Hole is a beautiful thing, beautiful community. We get together, we share some beats, we share some insights, we share some feedback, some love, and try to breed a healthy culture in music making and doing the things that we love. Enjoy, okay, bye-bye.